Okay, guys, we are going to start our last section together in algebra, and this is going to be chapter 11, rational expressions. Okay, here's a couple key concepts for you guys to get in your notes. Go ahead and copy them down. Pause me as you copy them and replay me when you're ready for the explanation. Okay, so the first key concept we're going to talk about is rational expression. What really is a rational expression? Well, that's just simply an algebraic fraction whose numerator and denominator are polynomials. So we've got some variables on the top and we've got some variables in the bottom. Excluded values is any value of a variable that results in the denominator of the zero must be excluded from the domain of that variable. Basically, all that means is your denominator cannot be zero. So we've got to say, such and such cannot be equal because that would make, if it was equal, that would make a zero in your denominator. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. And then finally, to simplify a rational expression, we need to eliminate any common factors in the numerator and the denominator. And this is very similar to simplifying fractions with numbers. So for example, if I had AB over AC, this simplifies into A over B, or A over A times B over C. And because A over A equals 1, I can rewrite this as A times B over A times C is 1 times B over C, or just simply B over C. Okay, and I know you guys know this, that we can probably skip all these steps here and go straight from here to here. But what I want us to know is that when we have a fraction over a fraction like this, A over A, that's the same thing as saying 1. And so that's going to be important for us later. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about stating the excluded value for each rational expression. So remember, the denominator can never be 0, or else we'll get an undefined answer, so we don't want that. So here my denominator is m minus 6. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this m minus 6 equals 0. Add 6 to both sides, and m equals 6. Okay, so if I plug in this m equals 6 here, so I say 6 minus 6, what happens there? I get a 0 in the denominator. Remember, we said we don't want that. So this is true for every value of m except when m equals 6. So we can't have m equals 6, and that's all that is. The excluded value for this rational expression is 6. Okay, I want you to try this one. So you want to set your denominator equal to 0, and this one's going to be a little bit different than the last one because we've got a factor first. All right, and pause me, and when you're ready for the answer, go ahead and replay me. All right, so we've got x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. We've got to find the ones that we can't have equal 0. And we factor this into x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 6. And we can group these here, and we factor out an x minus 2, negative 3, x minus 2. Then we get x minus 3, x minus 2. And we're all equal to 0 here. And so we have x minus 3 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x equals 3, and x equals 2. So here our excluded values are x cannot be 3 or 2. Okay, now we're going to simplify, and we're also going to state the excluded values of the variables. Okay, so when we simplify, we want to find the greatest common factor with the top and bottom, just like we did before with that AB times AC. We found the greatest common factor, which was A, and took it out. Here, we're going to find the greatest common factor with the top and bottom. So to do that, we're going to factor. Okay, so I'm factoring up here. The greatest common factor in 3x minus 15 is 3. So this is x minus 5. And then here I'm going to factor x squared minus 7x plus 10 into x squared minus 7x minus 2x minus 5x plus 10. Group here, pull out an x minus 2 minus 5, x minus 2, and then we have x minus 5 and x minus 2. Okay, so here's our factored form. And we're going to do x minus 2 and x minus 5. Okay, now we want to see what's in common with the top and the bottom, and we can cancel those out because that really just equals 1. So I have an x minus 5 in the top and an x minus 5 in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cancel out here. And I'm going to simplify here as 3 over what's left, x minus 2. And that, my friends, is your simplified expression, 3 over x minus 2. Now it also asks for the excluded values of the variables. So we're going to come down here where we've already done all of this. Remember, we just find the excluded value, we have it equal to 0. So all of these are equal to 0. And we just have x minus 5 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. So x cannot be 5 or 2. And that's it. All right, I would like you to try this one. Pause me as you work the problem out and replay me when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so first of all, we're factoring the top. We get 12 as your greatest common factor, x plus 3. Over, we've got to factor this guy out, and we get x squared minus x minus 12. And we have x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12. Group in here. Factor out an x. Factor out a 3. And we have x plus 3, x minus 4. All right, and then we find the common between the top and bottom, and we get x plus 3 and x plus 3. Simplified out is 12 over x plus 4. All right, also we need our excluded values, so we just have this equal to 0. X equals negative 3 and 4. So x cannot equal, what was it, negative 3 and 4. And that's the whole lesson. That's it, guys. I want you to do these practice problems. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here, 5 practice problems for you. Good luck.